Welcome back to the Teeth Time podcast in episode 4, where I'm pumped to bring you another discussion with a special guest. Jack Hahn and I have a lot in common. We're both first-year dental students, we both have YouTube channels, and we both love to impact the lives of students who are in the same position we were not too long ago. Jack is a D1 at UCSF, and I'm honored to bring his infectious smile and energy to my podcast and YouTube channel. Get ready for an awesome conversation. Jack, welcome to the show. How's it going, my man?
Dude, oh my gosh, I'm on your what is it called, podcast? Oh my god, I'm on your podcast right now. Am I?
This is a great start. Dude, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Teeth Time podcast. This is I feel like this is a work that we've been discussing for a long time. You and I we connected. We can talk about that, but we connected a long time ago, and we've been talking just for months, it seems, since we both were, well before we both were in dental school. And here we are after all of that time, finally connecting and doing something. I think it's been really awesome to get to know you, because we're like dental students across the country, and now we're like doing all these speaking tours and all this stuff that we're doing for pre-dental students. And I think that there's a lot of opportunity for you and I to make content together as we move forward. So welcome to the show. I'm super happy to have you, my man.
Dude, thank you for the warm welcome. And no, it's true. I think we started talking before you took your break, your long hiatus from YouTube.
Oh yeah.
So it's been like over a year maybe.
Yeah, it's funny, when you reached out to me, I had just started my channel, which the first video I made was the day I was accepted into dental school. So that was December of 2019. And I had all these plans to make all these videos about my experiences as a pre-dental student, and I had all of this stuff. And I think you reached out to me early on. It was probably maybe like January, February. So you were one of like the first 100 people that found me, which is really cool. And I remember, for whatever reason, I thought you were a year behind me. So I remember thinking that you were like going to be applying that coming year. So when you like got into dental school and you were in and you were making videos, I was like, wait, what happened? I thought Jack was like a year back, which was so funny. But yeah, and also it's really funny that you were like one of the first couple people that found my channel. I think that's crazy, but it's been a fun ride. And I have talked about my channel why I stopped in a video in the past, but I'm happy to be back, and I don't see myself stopping now at any point in the future. So it's been fun to be here. So Jack, I want to start out, for anybody that doesn't know you, give yourself a brief intro, and then you can talk about why dentistry, why you chose dentistry as your profession.
Sure. So I started my dental journey probably between my freshman year and sophomore year of college, during that summer. By the way, I'm a D1 student at UCSF studying dentistry. Makes sense. That's why we're on the channel. And I didn't know I was going to go into dentistry until then. I did know I wanted to go into healthcare, but I was just looking at different avenues of healthcare and what I could get into, and also what suited me the best, as well as what I wanted. And I was looking into optometry. During that summer, when I chose dentistry, I was also looking at becoming a medical doctor, going to medical school. And that was early on. So I went into college as a pre-med, but I volunteered at a hospital in the ER department. And that's when I realized that the atmosphere of being around like a bunch of really sick people, sometimes you're not even able to heal them or help them. Like if they have metastatic stage 4 cancer, there's just not much you can do. And it's just so depressing, I feel like, if you have to go and tell their family members, oh, there's nothing we can really do. Your son is going to pass. So that's just a situation I don't want to put myself in. So what I love about dentistry is you're able to pretty much fix any problem when they come to you. If they don't have teeth, you can give them dentures or veneers, or if you can fix their teeth by giving them crowns and filling them, whiten their teeth, aesthetic purposes, you can always find a way to help, or you can always resort to signing them off to a specialty, and then they would still get help. So I love that we're always able to make a positive change.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's there's a lot to be said in the discussion of like med versus dentistry, because most people are like that in the sense that they're not immediately on that path to dentistry. They're more so on the path to something in the healthcare field. And my situation was obviously different because my dad was a dentist, or is a dentist. And so I sort of was always geared towards dentistry. But at the same time, I think I had a lot of the same inclinations where it was like I knew I wanted to be in healthcare. That was something that just felt natural to me. And I also had the same feeling in the sense that when you become a physician, especially if you're working in a hospital, which most do, certainly all of them do at some point, you really do have that feeling of there are many instances where there's nothing I can do. And in dentistry, there might be certain cases that you don't want to touch. They're a little bit out of your abilities, but at the same time, we don't have to deal with life and death. And I think I kind of chuckle saying it. It's a serious thing, but it's one of the things that really allows us to, I think, sort of be in the healthcare field and change lives, but also be creative and be in this uplifting environment that we also have the ability to create on our own. I mean, we could be business owners, we could build staffs, build teams. It's a wonderful profession. And so I think you hit the nail on the head. And also, I think you have to be the right person for any job that you're doing, and I think dentistry has a right person that should become a dentist. And I also think dentistry has plenty of people that maybe shouldn't be. And every healthcare field is the same way. My younger brother is a pre-vet student, and I possibly could be a physician. I simply could not be a veterinarian because I cannot handle animals in any sort of pain. Yeah. And my brother has this just innate ability to sort of separate himself from that and emotionally, which is it's seriously it's something that you're just born with, I think, and it predisposes you to that profession. So I think you and I, and we haven't talked a whole lot, but I can tell from just how creative you are and how much you put yourself out there. I think you're going to make a fantastic dentist, and I think we're both in the right profession. I think we both found the right places to be.
Dude, you're too, man. Like, I think that we both have some sort of entrepreneurship mindset too, which we can explore more in dentistry way easier than if we were in medicine. Which is why, right. We have our YouTube channels, and then this will help us if we decide to start a business later on.
Right. Yeah. Actually flows very, very seamlessly into my next question, which was, I want you to tell me about YouTube. So how did you get started with YouTube, and just tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I've always watched YouTube since I was a little kid. Grew up on Niga Higa, Kev Jumba, like the OG YouTubers. And then I had passions in like singing. I like to sing. I like, obviously comedic skits. So I started my first YouTube channel when I was in high school, dealing with, singing covers and comedic skits. And I always, in the back of my head, when I wanted to pursue dentistry or medical school or whatever, is that I love the creative process. I love using, a different side of my brain. It takes me out of dentistry, and it's kind of like, it's very therapeutic, right? So after I got into dental school, I was like, perfect. This is the best excuse I can have to start another YouTube channel. And also I signed up my last semester of college for entrepreneurship. So in entrepreneurship, you have to start a business anyways. I was like, I'm going to kill two birds, one stone right now. I'm going to start a YouTube channel. This is going to keep my YouTube accountable, and my YouTube is also going to keep the class accountable, if you know what I mean. So that's why I started, and I've loved it. It's probably the most rewarding thing I've ever, done so far. So I'm going to keep going, man.
I couldn't agree more with that. For whatever reason, and this was something that I talked about with Joel Meyerson in the last podcast. I actually think we talked about this off air. We had like another 20 minutes of discussion about YouTube and things. And one of the things that he said was, he's a dentist. He's been
Mm-hmm.
practicing for 6 years. And so he makes a good living. He does well for himself. But he was telling me that watching his growth and watching the first couple of dollars that he's made from YouTube come in, he was like, it's the most rewarding money I've ever made. And we don't do it for money. None of us do it for money. And he doesn't, I don't, certainly, and you certainly don't. But watching it grow, it's like you spend hours and hours doing this thing that is not related to school, which immediately makes you it makes me feel guilty at times. But then so you could create something out of nothing, and watching people actually hop onto that and enjoy it and tell you that they enjoy it. I mean, it's ridiculously rewarding. I've never experienced anything remotely like it. And that's why I think so many people are drawn to it, because they get that initial sense, that initial reward of, what it's like to connect with people and to put things out there that other people enjoy. And it's like, I'm going to keep doing this.
Oh yeah.
And obviously there are plenty of things that keep us back from putting ourselves out there, because I think it's difficult. And that's something I obviously struggled with in the beginning, was just, I didn't necessarily want to be, I consider myself a very normal guy. I'm not a very outspoken or outgoing person. I'm not super introverted either, but I'm just a regular run of the mill guy. And
I
I
got
didn't
really good at
necessarily
telling
know
stories.
Well,
You can tell a story,
I don't know,
man.
man. Well, I appreciate that. But I just sort of was like, I don't know if I want to be, I don't know if I want to be the influencer guy, because I'm not sure if that's who I am. But at the same time, what I've found, which is beautiful, is when you have your online presence, it's who you can be, whatever you want. And for me, I've been able to just sort of be myself. And at the beginning, maybe I was trying to be like other people, and still there's probably certain influences, but I could just be who I am. And the cool thing is that everybody in my life has been incredibly supportive of it, and has been like, dude, this is awesome, because they also enjoy, the video making aspect. They're like, you clearly know what you're doing with the camera, you know how to edit and all that. And so it's been fun, man. I really enjoy it. And I'm like, it like you say, it is a wonderful thing to get you away from the stresses of dental school, which there are plenty.
Yes.
So,
And sometimes
but
it can
dude,
still
you
add
are-
stress.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because YouTube is, even though it's not a job for us, it is something that in a way functions like a job, because you can't necessarily just not make videos and continue to grow. It's weird. For those that are not familiar, YouTube has this crazy algorithm, and that's how and why you see the videos that you see on YouTube. And that algorithm requires that you stay consistent with it. And so I've tried to get myself, like, through everything, at least one video a week. And that was the original, the other reason why I wanted to do this podcast, was just the ability to continue to put out content and not have to sit at my computer for like 8 hours and edit a video. But
Yeah, I know
man,
that too
you have experienced a lot of growth and a lot of success on YouTube, and I want you to tell me why.
Tell
If you
you
could.
why.
Tell me why you've been successful.
Well, there was this was more so last month's news, because last month is when I really experienced my growth. Right now, as you said, posting consistently is so important. I haven't posted a video in a month. I've still been working on projects, but I just haven't been able to get one up there. But during that last month, on YouTube, you're gonna be posting, a video here, video here, video here, video here, and then your watch time and your watch views are gonna go like this, but then they're always gonna get to the same baseline until you have a video that actually does well. Maybe it's like 1 in 10, maybe it's 1 in 15, maybe it's like even more rare than that. So my video, for me, that was first day of dental school. So my really like legit first vlog. That's what got a lot of views at the beginning, but then it caught on to the algorithm a little bit. So it stayed, when it dipped down, the baseline was still higher than my baseline previously. And that's kind of the videos you're looking for when you're posting, is you want to hit a higher baseline of viewership throughout your channel. And then the more videos that catch on to that algorithm, then the more channel authority you have, with the more views, subscribers, videos you have, and then your videos will just get shown
Absolutely.
more and more.
Absolutely. And what do you think people, like, from your comments and things, what do you think people have enjoyed most about that video and other videos that you've put out?
Yeah. People have definitely caught on to the vlogs, which is a blessing in a way, because obviously I'm getting more viewership, but also vlogs take 3-4 times longer to edit than a regular video. So come on, like,
Yeah, they certainly do.
I think people enjoy that, like yourself. I also am interested in the filmmaking aspect a little bit more, video quality and all of that. That's why I invested in a new camera. And you have to try and do something different, just little bits, because like for my style, I really look at a mixture of Casey Neistat's like storytelling and videography with Elliot Choi. He's like a YouTuber that I watch, and for his montages, I really take aspects out of that and put it into my montages. And then, I love David Dobrik, and his it's just like cut, which I incorporated. I add a little bit of comedy here and there. I make some quick cuts. And then all of that combined will just lead to a slightly higher audience retention, because the more you can do all of that, then there's always something new that comes up on the video, so they can't click off as often.
Right. Well, I think it's been fun to watch you grow. I'm like, dude, this guy's killing it. It's so cool. And I think probably everybody that I don't know, obviously not everybody, but most of the people that watch my content are probably familiar with who you are and watch your content as well. So we sort of have a small community of pre-dental students that, and I think there's plenty more to reach as well. I mean, I think you and I are at the very beginning of the students that are out there, but I do think that are...
Dude, not even dental students. Like, I'm starting to get comments, from medical students or nursing students, right? So we think that we're in a really small niche, which we are. But if we make great content, and I know, like, it's either going to be the next one or the next one after that, you're about to catch on, to something big. So we can, like, broaden that. It's not just dentistry students or pre-dentistry students or people in dentistry. It's going to be people in healthcare if we make really like high quality videos, right?
Right.
Interesting stuff.
And I always think about Ali Abdaal, because he is a perfect example. Yeah, he's a perfect example of somebody who started with med school. He started in that small niche, which med school is a larger niche on YouTube than dental school, but he started in a relatively small niche. And he expanded into his own he's his own character now. And because he built an audience that appreciated his work and was going to watch anything he put out. Mm-hmm. And now he can afford to put out a video about his tens of thousands of dollars worth of technology. And it does really well. But he's a beast. He's been really fun to watch. And one of the many influences that I had. I want to talk about dental school, because I don't know how many people that watch us are interested in starting their YouTube channel. I wanted to ask you, so what do you think, because I know you're Canadian, and you like you say you're in school in California, but what do you think was the most difficult portion of transitioning into dental school for you?
I had difficulty when I was transitioning from high school to college as well, on the exact same thing. It was pretty much because when I went from high school to college I went to the East Coast, didn't know anyone at my school, so I didn't have any like close friends, close connections at first. So at the beginning, I would just get so stressed and try and put so much effort and time into just developing those connections and friendships as quick as I can. And that's just not usually how it works. Usually, it takes time. So I would always be, I'd be branching out, reaching out to different people and getting to know different people. But I would always feel like where is that like really meaningful, deep connection that you have with someone? Well, the answer is you can't really get that until you actually spend quite a bit of time with them. So that added to a little bit of stress, and also just the pure volume of information that we have to learn in dental school, probably 3, 4, 5 times faster that is coming at us than in college.
Right.
And I was absolutely not used to that. There's some of my friends that say that dental school is actually easier for them than college. I've had the complete opposite experience. My first quarter was a complete adjustment period, a lot of failed tests, a lot of remediations. Now I've gotten more into the groove. Well, because I had to change my study.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's something that we all go through. I will say that in my experience, at my dental school, the University of Tennessee, they kind of did a good job with sort of ramping us into it a little bit. I think COVID also changed this a little bit. It actually probably would have been slightly even easier to start with if we hadn't had COVID. But we sort of ramped into the difficulty a little bit to where at the beginning, I had it built up in my head that I was in dental school and this was like the hardest thing ever. It really wasn't. It was actually like essentially undergrad. But then I got to this semester and being in the middle of gross anatomy and all of that. And I actually sort of looked back and I was like, wow, I had so much free time last semester and I don't anymore. And then, you know, I don't think the second semester of the first year is even necessarily the hardest. I think there's probably harder. So it is an adjustment. And there are people in my class, there's certainly people in your class that are just complete beasts and they study all the time. They're on top of everything. I'm not necessarily like that, but I think, I don't know. I always tell people, anybody that's worried about the transition to dental school, I always tell them, like, if you got in, there's a reason you got in, you know, and it may require a little bit more adjustment for you than it does for other people, but you will adjust and you will figure out what works for you, whether it takes a semester, a full year, 2 years, whatever. You're going to figure out what works best for you. And you'll find your groove, you'll find your pocket, and you'll be able to succeed.
Yes.
So
yeah,
that's awesome. So what about California? Did you go to undergrad in California?
No, undergrad. I went to Clark University. It's on the East Coast.
So you went all the way across the country.
Yeah. Mainly
Crazy.
because
So you were adjusting to dental school and being in California.
Well, I mean, my family lives in California. Like, we moved to California 7 years ago. So whenever I'd come back for summer or winter break, I would be in California. And, like, you know,
Gotcha.
adjustment to California, that's not too bad. It's yeah. I didn't find it
Probably
too
not.
difficult. No.
Yeah, I've never been, but
Ooh.
that's bucket list for someday.
You got to come visit.
I went to school in Florida for a year, my freshman year of college, and I will say I'm a sort of a seasons guy. I like the change in weather, but there is something to be said for being a couple minutes from a beach at any point in time. So that's pretty cool. I bet going to school out there is nice because you don't get we get real high highs and real low lows here. Like it can get really cold, but then also Memphis is like this weird, like, it gets hot in the summer. I don't know if there's probably a lot of people in other parts of the country that are like, yeah, it doesn't get that hot in Memphis, but it gets pretty hot.
And you guys got snow that one day. That was crazy.
We did. We got snow. Yeah. That was actually like just an out of the ordinary amount of snow. I mean, it was like, we got like because that was the snowstorm that got the whole country, but we got a good bit of it here in Memphis. My hometown in Nashville got a good bit as well, but not quite as much. And then where I went to undergrad in Knoxville. So I literally have been all over Tennessee. Knoxville's the complete east side of Tennessee. They didn't have like any. So, but dude, listen, so one thing about you that I've noticed, because I like to try to identify something about each person that I talk to when it comes to dental school, because we're all in the same sort of position, but we all have a lot of different aspects of our lives. One thing that I've noticed about you is that you have a very, very rich social life. And I've just looking at your content, you are extremely connected with people, it seems, and you're always having fun. So I wonder if you could talk about the balance between having a social life and being a dental student, being a YouTuber, and all the other things that you do.
It is just completely what you're prioritizing at that moment. So there will be a bunch of opportunities for you in dental school to do social things, to have fun, if you can hit up, like right now, it's not just me, like people in the class can hit up any other person on the roster in the class, or like the majority, and they would be down to do something. I know my housemate literally today just hit up a random classmate that he hasn't talked to in a couple months and was like, hey, let's go watch the sunset with this other group. And then she was like, yeah, I'm down. So that's the problem lies. Where the problem lies is like, you have to figure out that balance for yourself. Personally, like this quarter, I'm trying to cut down on what I'm doing on my social life, because look, I haven't posted it in a month, and this is one of my priorities, and it brings me a lot of happiness and gratification and all that. So I want to prioritize that. So in order to do that, I'm gonna say no to more social activities and hang out with friends,
Right.
which is a con because that's always fun, and it's, humans are wired to enjoy that. But the pro is that I get to put out more content. So
Yeah, there you go. There you go. It is. It's completely a balance. I know it's really cliche, but it's 100% the case. I sort of, especially with COVID, like I live alone. I live in a studio, so like a day like today, zero human interaction, which is really weird. It's the first time I've talked to somebody today. It's 7:00 my time. So it's weird, but at the same time, that allows me to do what I do. So I have school, which is number one.
Yeah.
Okay, like responsibility wise, like obviously family is like the first thing, but school is number one for me. And then actually my job with boot camp is number two. So that's something that, for those that don't know, probably everybody knows, but I work for boot camp. We're developing a course for dental anatomy. So that's one of the first courses that you take in dental school. And so that's like number two. And then YouTube is number three. And what the thing about me is I don't have a whole lot of a social life at this point, just because like I live alone, and all of my friends here, pretty much everybody like is working really hard. And so everybody's kind of like on their stuff. And when we have gaps in time, it's awesome because everybody's hanging out. Like I'll go play golf with some guys. We'll all go to breweries are really big in Memphis. We'll go to a brewery, and there's just like plenty of things to do, and it's super fun. But like weeks like this, when it's an exam week or whatever, I am just in my apartment, doing the same thing. But it's cool because I have been able to, I have the entire day to get everything done that I need to, and that's kind of how I'm able to balance everything. But it really is. It's just like it's kind of like what I was just talking about with finding your what works for you in dental school. That's another thing. Is just finding out how you're going to manage your time, and how much time you're going to put into some things, and what's most important, and all those things.
Dude, I really wish that I could be a little bit more like you in that way, because I go crazy if I don't get enough like social interaction. But it would be so good for, studying, for YouTube, for if you have a side job. So yeah, I'm glad you're handling it, and you seem happy. So
I am. And I have a girlfriend back home in Nashville. We talk every day, and she keeps me grounded. And so there's never a day when I actually don't talk to anybody. But I'm looking forward to being back on campus, because I found that, so I'm sure the situation is very similar for you, but last semester, our first semester of school, we were only on campus like twice a week. And that was for operative lab and for dental anatomy lab. And maybe tops 3 times. Some of those would be like 2 times in the same day. So I didn't really get to know my classmates that well. This semester, we had our gross anatomy lab for the first, however long that was, couple months of this semester. And that was a at least 4 day a week commitment on campus, because the rest of everything else is online, right? So all of our courses are online. We have no in-person lectures and everything, which I'm sure is the same for you. Mm-hmm. But I just noticed that being on campus 4 times a week for gross anatomy, which is 3 labs, and then a Saturday tutoring, which we all did, and then optional extra study time in the lab. Doing that on top of our regular lab schedule, which this semester is operative and occlusion, I've been around my classmates so much more. And this is, once again, still not being on campus for lectures. And I've become so much better friends with all these people around me just because we're actually together. And so I'm really looking forward to, long story short, getting back on campus and really getting to know these people, because it's really cool. Like, I think dental classes are so connected because everybody in your dental class is really driven by a lot of the same things, and you're all at the exact same position in your career, and you're in it sort of a niche career. So like any person that you meet and talk to in your class, there's immediately so much to talk about. And that's been an amazing experience for me, just getting to know the people around me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No,
Yeah.
I definitely agree. I love all my classmates as well. Everyone that gets into dental school, they have something special about them, I feel like. and it's just fun getting to discover that, and everyone is so unique and different.
Absolutely. Well, this is the obligatory question. What would you say is your, and I know you've given this answer a lot lately because you and I have been on a couple of Zoom calls with pre-dental students.
Very fun.
Which has been really fun, by the way. I'm looking forward to doing more of that.
Same.
What would you say is the best piece of advice you could give to a pre-dental student?
Best piece of advice. Oh, there's so many avenues I could take this.
Take it all the avenues.
Yeah, today, what I'm gonna say is, I think when you're in undergrad, and okay, I'll say two things. One, you're definitely gonna want to shadow a dentist a good amount, or like even assist if you can, or work in a dental office, just so you actually know what you're getting yourself into. The more you can explore the profession and go into like what are those called? Conventions, like dental conventions.
Oh yeah.
Even watching like videos like this. This was also like just tells you more and more information, and then you can decide if dental school is right for you. On top of that, I think the second tip I have is to don't, there's so many people, there's some pre-dents that'll reach out and they just seem so stressed and serious, and like, if I'm not 100% on top of my game, then I'm not going to get in. And although, of course, I don't want to undermine how difficult it is to get into dental school, but you can still do what you enjoy. And I think you should choose to do, like in undergrad, you should choose to do something that you do like, because a lot of the times what you like, whether it be a sport or like art, like ceramics or photography, anything like that, it relates to dentistry in some area, and you'll be able to talk about that in interviews and or on your personal statement. And if you like something, then you're gonna probably do that thing better than someone else that's forced to do it or forced to sign up for that class. And dental schools and just life in general, they like to see people that can, one, handle a lot of different activities and still do well in them, so time management, and then also just you excelling in certain areas. And it's better to excel at something, and easier to excel at something, if you just genuinely enjoy doing it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've had many students so far that have reached out to me, and they're like in high school, and they're so, I mean, it's wonderful to see. They're so pumped about being a dental student.
Yeah.
They're so like set on it. They're so ready. They're so excited, but they're also so focused on it that I almost think they're focused on it to a fault, because it's like they're in high school, but they're wishing that they were already in the shoes of a dental student. And I think it's something that we all go through. And this is another thing I talked about with Joel. It's something that we all go through. We all have that thing where it's like, man, I want to just get to that next step in life. I want to get to, when we were in high school, I want to get to college. And then when we were in college, I want to get to dental school. And now it's like, I just want to practice. And I think that when you live like that, you kind of miss out on things.
Yeah.
Because you're not appreciating every day for the uniqueness of that day and for the opportunity that you have. And so I love the message of encouraging young people to just enjoy the position that they're in life. It may seem like it sucks because you're just like, oh my gosh. And you also, as a pre-dental student, you have all that weight on you of like, what if I don't get in and all that? And that's very real. But at the same time, you're a young person likely in a place full of other young people.
Right.
And this is like kind of one of the only times in your life when you just get to be young and to enjoy that aspect. You don't really have a whole lot of responsibilities. You have school, and you should remain 100% on top of that. But let's be real for a second. Undergrad, you kind of have the ability to remain on top of it completely and also have a lot of fun.
So much time.
And I'm not talking about like fun in the traditional college sense necessarily. I'm just talking about being young and enjoying kind of being away from your family a little bit, and being with people that, hopefully you enjoy being around, and also traveling, experiencing the world a little bit, just doing the things that you might not be able to do in a few years once you get into school and then once you start working. So man, just enjoy life. And that's what, once again, it ties it back to you. Like I see that you do enjoy life, and I hope that resonates with some of these young students.
Dude, absolutely. You can enjoy your like entire life, every single level or like year that you're in, and still be successful. And when you're in high school, you should be worrying about like trying to get onto like the varsity team or like who should I ask for to prom? Exactly. That's the things that those are the things that should be stressing you out.
Yeah. You get that time once, and I think both of us could agree that. Yeah, I don't want to speak for you, but I would love to go back and just kind of experience that time of my life again, because I didn't really have a whole lot on my plate. I just the most important thing to me was sports back then. Like I played lacrosse, and that was really, really important for me. And that is, sports are incredible, but like there's a lot of things in life that hold a lot more weight, and you realize that once you get to them. So yeah, but dude, Thank you for doing this. I know we had a little technical issues there in the beginning, and I wasn't ready, but I've been looking forward to speaking with you, because like I said, you and I have been connected for so long, but we've never actually spoken one-on-one. And now we're starting to do these events with pre-dental students. Hopefully there are many more to come. And I always know, like, this, it's been 2 now, and I'm always like, well, the first one happened, and then the second one came around, and I was like, I don't even know for a fact, but I know for a fact that Jack's going to be there. So I hope that we have a long future of trying to connect with students, because I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I want to do more, and I want to thank you so much for setting this up. You starting this podcast gave us the opportunity to talk, and it's going to give
absolutely
so many pre-dents and maybe people outside dentistry just 1, entertainment, 2, knowledge, and make it easier for them to make the decision of choosing this career or not choosing this career. You can cut that part out.
No, you're good.
Or not choosing that career. Okay.
You're good, man. No, I think you're right, and it goes back to kind of what you were saying about just like trying to consistently, reach out for knowledge and more perspectives. The more you know, the better armed you are to go into your future. And I that's the thing about students. They are really prepared. They're way more prepared than I was. That's for sure. So I applaud all of you, all of my watchers here, listeners, that you're actually seeking out people that you want to be like, people that you think are inspiring to you, because that's a really good way to succeed, I think. And Jack and I can definitely speak for Jack on this one. We both have plenty of influences that have been a few steps ahead of us, that have kind of led us through many things.
Yeah.
And so just keep doing it, but don't watch too much YouTube, because I've gone down that rabbit hole
every day. Yeah, same.
Yeah, I've had to cut back on YouTube lately, because it's definitely not I don't want to say that, because we both like want people to watch our videos, but it's
oh, true.
When you're in dental school, you got to cut back a little bit.
Yeah. You also learn all the time from YouTube videos. So
cool. Well, is there anything you wanted to ask me while we were on?
Oh man,
putting you on the spot.
You did.
Let you be the host for a second.
What is your biggest goal for this semester, Steven?
Oh, I like that.
Because I'm gonna help you. Yeah, I'm gonna help you I'm gonna keep you accountable. You always need accountability buddies.
Yeah. Oh gosh, is this what it feels like to be asked a question and not know what's coming? So I think my biggest goal for this semester is, so I'm not on to get back to like dental specifics, I'm not on the route of specializing. I'm actually, it's this weird thing when you get to dental school, there's like specializing is sort of put up on this pedestal, and that is like the thing that, everybody seems to want to do. And I think people lose sight of how great general dentistry is, because general dentistry offers you the ability to really do anything that you want within the profession. And there is so much CE out there. There's so many, which is continuing education. There's so many options and opportunities to widen your base of knowledge in dentistry. And you have the ability to build a practice and to do whatever you want.
True.
I mentioned earlier, my dad's a dentist. He's a general dentist, but he loves endo. And so he basically functions as an endodontist who does some general dentistry. So I just think general dentistry is wonderful. And it also allows us to get through school in 4 years and not have to go into more debt and spend more time and to sort of get going on the career. So that all being said, my grades are important to me, but they're not like, I don't have to get all A's anymore. So that affords me the ability to kind of have a little bit of wiggle room. So this semester, I hope to continue to, to do well and to make myself proud, but also to continue to expand on the things that I'm doing. I want to finish up our course at boot camp and get that, packaged up and ready to go. Hopefully plenty of people will be able to use that course next semester and enjoy it. Give people an extra resource when it comes to tooth ID, because that can be kind of daunting. And then I also, I hope to continue to grow this YouTube channel that I have, because like we've talked about many times, it's truly something I enjoy doing. It's like one of the most fun and rewarding things that I have in my life. And it's still really small, but like I see the growth every day. And so I hope that I can continue to put time into that, and like true like effort and appreciation for the work that I'm doing, and put good content out there that people can enjoy. And so maybe that's a nicely packaged generic answer, but I want to do all the things that I'm doing, and I want to do them successfully.
Well, that was very wholesome, very well-spoken answer. Everyone, Stephen Ray, thank you so much for joining me today on the podcast.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, I had to, you know what's funny about that? I felt the same way in my dental school interview, where there was a few questions where I was like, let me just kind of like waltz around this one and just kind of like talk for a little bit. And I think you kind of have to, that's something that's, I guess it's a skill, but I don't know, just kind of say some BS to buy yourself some time. Yeah. Well, all right, Jack, this has been super fun. How can people find your stuff? I'm going to leave the links in the description. Yeah, but let everybody know where they need to go to see the things you're working on.
So on YouTube, it's just Jack Han Smiles. On Instagram, it's just Jack Han Smiles. And I just started TikTok yesterday, and I'm going to start posting videos on there, because that's one of the things I want to prioritize TikTok. I don't know. But also Jack Han Smiles.
I feel like you could be really good on TikTok. I feel like you like already have that inclination towards that type of content.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully I won't be too cringy.
I think there's a lot of cringy stuff, at least stuff I've seen on Instagram as far as like the dental world goes. But I also think that there are people like, and I'm not putting anybody down here, but I do think there are people like people like you that make really unique content, and you have like a naturally awesome personality, so that comes through in your videos. So absolutely, everybody go follow him. I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure there's nobody that's following me that's not already following you, but if there are, go ahead and follow Jack. He's a beast. His stuff's awesome, and he's going to start posting more because I'm going to hold him to it.
Yeah, I will. Starting this week. New video coming out this week.
There we go. Yeah, I don't know if I'm made for TikTok. That's not really, but I do follow. I follow a guy. His name is That Icelandic Guy on YouTube, and he's kind of a photographer, filmmaker type, and he really like swears by TikTok, and he makes really cool creative like TikTok. So I don't know, man. I just don't need another I don't need another thing that I have to put time into.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I also have beef with TikTok. I have beef with TikTok because I was like a Vine person. I loved Vine, and that was an app that was around. I feel it makes me sound kind of old, but when we were like freshmen in college, maybe even earlier than that.
Right. And
it doesn't exist anymore. And TikTok is essentially like the successful version of what Vine wanted to do. So I have a little bit of beef with it, but
okay. Dang, that inside scoop.
Dude, no, I might have to just get one just so I can follow you.
Oh,
see what you're doing on there.
Just get on there. There's people that post good stuff on there. You might even learn some like nice transitions, for videos and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm always trying to up the editing game, which is a fun challenge to do. So, all right, Jack, this has been absolutely awesome, man. Thank you for coming on. And, as this podcast continues to grow and the channel and everything, I'm sure there's going to be plenty of opportunities for us to do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the invite, man. This was really fun, and we'll do it again.
All right, sweet. Thanks, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, you too. Bye.
All right, man. See you. Thank you for listening to the Teeth Time podcast. I hope this conversation was at least somewhat enjoyable for you. Remember to check out my YouTube channel, that's Stephen P. Ray on YouTube, where you'll find plenty of visual content about the life of a dental student and creator. Also check out my Instagram at stephen.p.ray.dentistry. Long name, I know. I appreciate each and every one of you. This has been Teeth Time, and I'm out.